ratio. Now, today we will apply the unit step signal to the second order system. Okay, and we will do the analysis for different values of zeta, and we will observe what is the effect of zeta value and the unit step signal on the second order system. Okay, so here our system is second order system is like this, closed loop second order system. So that transfer function C of S upon R of S is this, right? The zeta is a damping ratio, omega n is a natural frequency of oscillation, right? So we are going to apply input signal as a unit step signal. The Laplace transform of unit step signal is 1 by s. Okay, so if I put R of s is equal to 1 by s into this particular transfer function, I will get the output response C of s like this. Okay, then first case we will consider when zeta is 0. As we know, when zeta is 0, those systems are called as an undamped system, right? So what is the effect of unit step signal on the undamped system? Okay, so let us consider the output signal, that is C of S. So zeta is 0 here. Okay, so what is mean by response? That is a time domain. What is mean by output response? That is a time domain representation of the output. So if you take the inverse Laplace transform of this, so how to take an inverse Laplace? You can solve this by using partial fraction also, but if you use a Laplace transform property to find out the inverse Laplace transform, you will get the answer quickly. Okay, so signal is first what I will do. So I will arrange this like omega n into omega n square plus omega n square like this, then 1 by s. So this term I will say that is x1 of s. Okay, so if I take inverse Laplace transform of this, what is the x1 of t? Anyone?
Sine of omega n.
Sine of omega n t. Omega n into sine of omega n t. Omega n is there, no?
Yes,
So this is
yes.
now. If I take integration in time domain, okay, in the Laplace domain, what happens? We divide the particular Laplace transform of that signal by s, right? So here, what is the f of t here? That is omega n into sine omega n t, right? 1 by s, this term is there, no? So this property you can apply here. So after applying this property, uh, what will be the ILT of that particular signal? What is the ILT of that particular signal then? if you take the integration of signal in time domain, in Laplace domain, you need to divide the Laplace transform by yes, right? So here they done that thing only. So this term is what? X1 of s upon s only, no? So in time domain, what you will do?
Integration.
Yes, integration, right? Okay. So just take a integration. So here I will just put on that thing. So C of t will be 0 to t x1 of t dt, right? So okay. So what is okay? This is a C of t. Understood? 1 minus cos omega nt. Okay, just I have taken the integration of that particular signal and I got the C of t. Okay, so I will just.
Excuse me, sir. Why did you integrate it up to 0 to t only?
That is a property only. I means up to which period we need to like this.
Okay, okay.
I will just adjust these things. Like okay. So here we can draw it. Here I will draw that signal. Okay, the resulted signal you will get. Okay, so conclusion here is when undamped system is there and you apply unit step response, that oscillatory response will ride on that input signal. Okay, so here you can see this particular oscillatory response is riding on this unit step signal. So similarly, if you apply a ramp here, ramp signal for this undamped system, this oscillatory response will ride on that. And this is the conclusion here when you apply unit step signal to undamped system. Okay.
Excuse me, sir. Why it is going from 0 in the final?
Okay, here you can say this is 1 and amplitude is 1 minus 1. Okay, at t tends to
Yes,
0,
yes.
1 minus 1, 0. I only subtracted these signals. Okay, I only subtracted. Do the subtraction,
Okay.
you'll get this signal. I'm drawing it approximately like this, but you will get the idea. Okay. So
Yes,
let
yes.
us let us consider next condition. So if you just form the poles for this particular thing, ठीक है, because for impulse response only we just find out the system poles by analyzing the system pole. We will analyze the system like that way. Okay, so let us consider the next case, that is when zeta is between 0 to 1, and this is an important system, under damped system, because all the practical system lies in this range only. Okay, so analysis of this particular system is important. So let us consider this case now, under damped systems. So input is unit step, Laplace transform is 1 by s, transfer function is this. Okay, then output response is like this. Now in the last lecture we have solved the roots for this particular thing, right, for this equation. Those roots are okay. So we just now that particular equation gives the complex root, right? So so we'll directly solve this by using partial fraction, right? So instead of taking the poles, because complex roots are there, no? So we'll directly solve this particular equation by partial fraction. So a upon s plus ds plus c upon square 2 zeta omega n s omega n square. Okay, just take a LCM and omega n square a into a square minus omega n square bs square plus cs, right? Okay, then if I take a inside, okay, so so zero order terms, so that is only one here, right? So omega n square is equal to a omega n square, so a will be 1. Then first, okay, so that is 0, no? 2 zeta omega n plus c is equal to 0. Yeah, because a is 1 here, directly I have put it. Okay, I will mention it here. A is 1, so a put a here, and then c will be minus 2 zeta omega n, and then second. Okay, so that is a plus b is equal to 0. So b will be minus 1. So this particular equation, otherwise I will draw it here. Okay. B is 1, no? So this will be S plus okay, right? Partial fraction. Now I will just adjust the denominator like this. This is zeta. Okay. So this term will become S plus tau omega n square, and this term I will take omega n square outside. So that will be okay. So I got this thing. So I will just put that into this equation. So this is separate part. Okay. So C of S will be and I will adjust these terms also, okay, the numerator part. So like this I will adjust. This is will be okay. So what adjustment again we will do? So I will divide by this term and multiply by this term. Do some adjustments. Okay. Okay then. Yeah. Okay. So if you take a ILT of this, inverse Laplace transform of this, so tell me the ILT then. C of t 1 of s inverse Laplace transform u of t. Okay. Now what is a What is the inverse Laplace transform of this term? Second term. Just try it. Okay, I will tell you one identity here. E raised to minus at into cos pt. Okay. Laplace transform of this term is s plus a upon s plus a square plus b square. Now you tell me the inverse Laplace transform of this term. This term.
E raised to minus the zeta omega into cos of
E raised to minus zeta omega nt.
cos of omega n squared.
No. This term is there, no? Omega. So b square term is this. B square term is this. Okay. So
Omega n
that will
Omega n square
in
of
bracket.
1 minus zeta square.
cos omega n 1 square root of 1 minus zeta square into t. Okay. So this will be the term. If you want to put u of t here, u of t. Understood? This is b square now. Understood? This term is b square.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then now you tell me for this third term. What will be the okay? Consider another identity here. Okay, so what is remain here? This theta upon okay. So I will just make some space here. And from this term, I will just adjust, I will just simplify it. So that will be like okay. So I have just taken this e raised to minus zeta omega nt and this square root of 1 minus zeta square outside. Okay. So now here, if I say zeta is equal to if I say zeta is equal to cos theta, tell me what will be the sine theta then? Then what will be the sine theta? If cos theta is
under root of 1 minus zeta square.
Yes, right. Now put, instead of zeta, put cos theta into this equation, and instead of this term 1 minus zeta square root, put sine theta into this term. So if I put that thing into that equation, okay, so cos theta then I will simplify that term as a I will take just minus outside, so here this will be plus, right? Take a minus outside. We have taken this particular term outside, now we have taken minus also. Okay, if you take a minus outside, and we will make this plus, make an adjustment here. Okay, so if you take a minus side outside, that this will become plus, and inside terms will also become plus. So if I use this term was already minus, no? So this will be minus only.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
We can also replace that denominator term by sine theta. ना?
नहीं उसको, हाँ वो अंदर के टर्म को सिंप्लीफाई करना है ना, इसलिए वो बाहर नहीं उसको किया, अंदर के टर्म को रखा है हुआ। ओके, ये माइनस ही हो गया, तो ये जब माइनस, ओके, तो इसको ऐसे कर सकते हैं, साइन ए प्लस बी। ओके, so a is this and b is this, sin a plus b. Okay, so u of t को आउटसाइड करके so this particular term will become sin a plus b. Okay, and where theta is cos inverse theta, right? So that will be u of t minus e raised to minus theta omega n t 1 minus theta square sin of omega n or minus zeta square t plus theta is cos inverse theta. Okay, so this is the C of t we got. Okay, so this is the step response when zeta is between 0 to 1, okay, for underdamped system. So if you draw this particular output response, so this will be like this, okay. Okay, that response will be like this. So there are different parameters which describe that particular response. Okay, different performance indices which describe the particular. This is same only these two responses. Okay, so when you increase the value of zeta, there will be increase in the damping and the decrease in the damping frequency, right? Okay, so these two graphs are same only. So here all the terms are, all the performance indices are denoted here. Generally what this performance indices mention, how oscillatory system is, okay, how fast system is, okay, means depending on the rise time and depending on the settling times, all these parameters determines how fast system is, okay, then how oscillatory system is, and that only. So this particular parameter define that performance of the system. Okay, so here you can see different performance indices like delay time. So what is mean by delay time? Here, if you see this particular C of t, the final response or output final steady state output response is 1. Okay, so final value is 1 only. So that is a final value. So how much time it takes to reach 50% of the final value, that time is called as a delay time. So here you can see at 0.5 we are measuring the delay time. Okay, 50% of the final value. Then next term is rise time. Okay, so generally rise time is depending on the systems like overdamped systems and underdamped systems. So generally for underdamped systems we take 0 to 100%. Okay, because in some system what happens, that system will not reach to the 100% of final value. Okay, so there is no point in calculating rise time for 0 to 100% for those systems. Okay, so for those systems we calculate the rise time from 10% to 90% of the final value. Okay, so here you can see this is the rise time, TR is the rise time here. So from 0 to 100% is 1. Okay, so in the first attempt, okay, time required to reach to the final value, time required to reach to the final value is rise time. Okay, from 0 to 100%, 0 to 1. Then there is a concept of peak time. Now here you can see the oscillatory response is there. Okay, so there are some peaks in this output response. So TP is a time required to reach that particular peak. Okay, so here you can see this is a peak value. At this point, at this TP value, at this TP point, that particular response is reaching at its peak. Okay. Then there is a concept called peak overshoot or performance indices called peak overshoot MP. So generally it is a difference between the peak value of the response and the final value of the response. So if I say this particular value is C of TP, okay, this particular value is C of TP, then MP will be C of TP minus C of infinity. And what is the C of infinity? C of infinity is 1. Okay, so C of Tp minus 1 is the peak overshoot. Okay, MP. So this one, peak overshoot. Then it is determined in percentage also with respect to steady state value. So that will be like percentage peak overshoot, the difference between the peak value and the steady state value normalized by the steady state value multiplied by 100. Okay. And then there is a concept called settling time. Settling time, all of you know what is meant by settling time. Time required for the response to reach and stay within the specific tolerance band of its final value. So here you can see this dotted line shows the tolerance band, and generally in practical system, in 5 the system will reach to steady state. Okay, but ideally we are saying like that. So at t tends to infinity, the system response will reach to the steady state. Okay, but in practical system will reach within 5 okay, 5 times time constant. Then there is a concept called steady state error. All of you know that. So that is a difference between the input and output at t tends to infinity. Okay. So these all performance indices denotes the performance of the time response of the system, step response of the system. Okay. For a zeta value between 0 to 1. So this response is only we have drawn by using this particular equation. So that is oscillatory, and it is riding on the inputs step signal. Okay, just like we have seen for impulse response, it was symmetric around this particular 0 x-axis, right? This particular x-axis. But here it is symmetrical around this particular unit step signal. So that is only the part here. Okay. So this is all about the underdamped system responses. Then we will derive the values, derive the equations for these particular times. Okay, rise time, delay time, and all those. So have you understood at up to this point? Anyone has any doubt here? Have you understood? If you have any doubt, you can ask me. Any doubt is there?
No, sir.
Okay, so can we proceed? Shubham, any doubt?
No doubt, sir.
Okay. So we will proceed how to calculate these particular times. Okay. So first we will start with the rise time. So this is an underdamped system. So rise time will be, it will take a time, how much time it will take to reach from 0% to 100% of the final value. So here 100% final value is this, right? 1. And the initial value is 0. So we need to calculate the rise time, and this is our equation. Okay, and omega d, so that is a damping oscillations. So here if you can represent this particular equation in terms of damping frequency also. So that is like this is cos inverse theta only, right? So here omega d is omega n into 1 minus theta squared. Damping oscillations. Okay, damping frequencies are. Okay, so that equation only here we have used. Okay, so instead of TR, yeah, okay, we need to calculate TR now. So final value is 1. So I will put So at rise time value will be 1. So this is also I will say C of TR, or here I will so this will be also C of TR, okay, or C of TR. Okay, so that is 1. U of t is 1 only. So this response, so at this point value is what? 1. TR, at TR, okay, this value is 1. Unit step value is also 1, okay, then 1 minus, so to satisfy this particular equation, this term should be 0, right? Okay, so in this term, what should be 0? The sine term should be 0. Okay, so if sine term should be 0, so this particular thing should be pi, right? So rise time will be,
Excuse me, sir.
how
did you write it as omega d TR?
this is like omega subscript d and then TR. Okay, I will just, I will draw on that. Okay.
Sir, is that damping frequency, no?
Damping frequency only. That equation only we have used.
Okay.
This equation, this particular equation only, this particular waveform is drawn using this particular equation only. So that is a damping frequency, and I am putting TR because I want to calculate a rise time. Okay, so that
Okay,
is
sir.
only. Okay, so TR will be, you can represent omega t in terms of omega n and zeta. Okay, so this is the rise time equation. Okay, similarly there is a peak time is there, right? So how to calculate the value? Sorry. So peak time is what? It is a time required for the response to reach at its peak, right? So at this point, what is the value of TP, right? So to calculate the value of TP, again we will consider the response only, this output response. Or finally I will put TP, okay? Timing I will put T here only. And then finally I will put TP here. So now the peak time, how to calculate the peak time here? How to calculate peak time? What you can do? to calculate a peak time. You have an output response equation with you. Then how you will calculate a peak time? Anyone can suggest any method? You have output response equation with you. How you will calculate TP? You know all the values here, right? 0.5, 1. Okay. You can calculate a maximum here, no? By taking a differentiation of this particular thing and equating with 0. So you will get a maxima also and minima also, right? Okay. So I will use particular, if you take a differentiation of that and equate it with 0. So what will be differentiation of this? Okay. So differentiation of u up to will be 0 only, na? Then tell me. Okay, equate with 0. Okay, and then simplify it. Zeta square, okay, zeta is like, and then omega d is what? Omega n into 1 minus zeta square. So if I just simplify it, so this term will get cancelled with this, and so if I take this outside and put it on this side, so that will be like zeta omega n. So you just compare these two terms, so all the parameters will get cancelled. So zeta omega n. Then if I take this, so that will be like okay. As you know, zeta is cos theta, and what is the sine theta then?
Root of
Sine
1.
theta 1 minus zeta square. Just put it into this equation. So that will be like what is remain here? Omega is remain, omega n. Yes. If I take omega n and e raised to theta omega nt outside, so I will get theta sine omega t plus theta minus okay. So if you simplify this particular term, that will be like a sine a minus b. हाँ, यहाँ पे आपने ये पुट करना था ना cos थीटा, तो ये cos थीटा हो गया और 1 माइनस थीटा स्क्वायर को sin थीटा। Right, sin theta, that will be like sin a minus b, right? So that will be minus theta, so this theta will get cancelled, and then what you will get? Okay, so here theta will get cancelled, so to satisfy this particular thing they should be 0, right? So omega d should be omega d into t. Here I will put tp, right? Now I will put p. Tp will be n pi by omega d. Okay. Now, when n is equal to 1, that will be the first peak, right? Because this particular equation will give us the maxima also and minima also, right? Okay. So when n is equal to 1, the first peak will get. When n is equal to 2, the second peak will be get. Okay. So this will be like a first peak overshoot. This is the first peak overshoot. Then this is a first undershoot. Okay. This is called as a second overshoot, and this is the second undershoot. Okay. So here you can see. So this is the first overshoot. This is the, I will use this color here. This is the second undershoot. No, first undershoot. This is the second overshoot, like that way. Okay. So here, when n is equal to 1, so that will be first overshoot. When n is equal to 2, that will be first undershoot. And generally we calculate the first overshoot only. So in that case, when n is equal to 1, Tp will be pi by omega d. And what is omega d? That is omega n into 1 minus zeta squared. Okay, so this is the peak time. Okay. So have you understood? Any doubt is there?
No, sir.
Generally there are a problem based on these formulas. That's why we are deriving it. Okay. So, and for any system, if that system is like an oscillatory system, you can calculate the first peak time. So where the first peak time is there. Okay. Depending on that, you can optimize your system. Okay. For that particular values. So like that way we need to find out these parameters.